So Paula Higgins, Chief Executive of Homeowners Alliance. Can you give me a picture of home ownership in the UK and how that's changed?
Well, to be honest, it's a bit bleak, really. English people always say their home is their castle, and they're very proud to own their own home, a very proud home-owning nation. But that's changed over the last 10, 20 years. When we first started up Homeowners Alliance, we found, when our first piece of research, we found actually more people rent in London than own. And since then, it's gotten worse. Recent research has showed that 2 million young people or aspiring homeowners will not follow in the footsteps of their own homeowning parents. So you're actually, there's a real generation gap between that. And also the parents as well are also really, really worried, with 60% of them worried that their children will not be able to ever own. So it's a changing picture. So we are looking at people maybe going into their own old age when they're used to living off the asset of their home. That might not be the case. They might be renting for longer.
And what are the reasons behind this change?
It's really, to be honest, we have not been building enough homes for the last 30 years. Ever since we had a big house building program after the war and the Home for Heroes. Since then, that's completely dropped off. National house building's dropped off. In its place, we've got big private house builders, a few big ones, which are for profit. And they haven't, and to be fair, they're companies. They're working on behalf of their shareholders, and they're not building enough, and they've never built enough. So we've got a real problem. There's a real reliance on this. Our planning system is quite sluggish and slow. It's hard to get things through. We don't have a lot of smaller builders. And we also are having problems with leasehold flats at the moment. So when in the UK, when you buy a flat or you own a flat, you actually don't really own it. You really own the right to live in it for 99 years or 99 years. You don't own the ground that's on it. And that's causing huge amounts of contention at the moment. And government is trying to support leaseholders and give them more powers to own their own property.
And how could a change in government, because we're expecting a general election here, how could a change in government affect aspiring homeowners?
Well, unfortunately, housing, and I don't understand why, is such an important part of people's lives. Where they live is, it's fundamental to their well-being. And successive governments and this government never seems to prioritize it. So we have constant initiatives that never really kind of materialize. And we really hope that a change, that all, and actually we're calling on all political parties to really put housing at the heart of their manifestos, so that we can see real change, and we can really see that there'll be more rights for leaseholders, more rights for renters. But really, fundamentally, we need to be building a lot more homes and starting to do it quickly.
Have you seen any trends among homeowners buying in certain areas of the UK?
Well, I mean, this has happened for a long time, that London is an incredibly expensive market, but this is also a lot of the other cities as well. So what we do see, and particularly through the pandemic and COVID, is that people were, and now that we're switching to being able to work from home a lot more, people are able to move out and move further away and maybe not quite as close to transport links. So that's starting to happen. And as we know, we've got sort of nomad workers who work from anywhere in the world, really. So in that case, there's a bit more choice, really, to buy properties. But fundamentally, it's always harder in London and the southeast. You don't get much for your money, and people now that is more, you can go elsewhere and get good jobs, that people are moving to places where they can actually afford to buy.
Well, Paula Higgins, Chief Executive of the Homeowners Alliance, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.